about this whole idea that you should love your work, you should work where you love,
I think that if you work with something you don't love, then you'll get burnt out and it'll like become a chore for you instead of like, oh, I can't wait to go to work today. Which is today like very rare. A lot of people don't like their job, they're just doing it for the money.
Right.
Which makes sense, but
that's why people switch jobs eventually, right?
Yeah.
Or they want to get a raise.
So you might as well just stay with the job that you actually like for a long time.
Right. Interesting. Good take. Thank you, Rachel. So someone could say, you could make the argument that if you do follow your heart, this can happen, right? On the screen, yeah? The heart's going over here. You know why? What does he see? Can someone act it out for us? The butterfly.
Yeah, he's focused on the butterfly.
And the heart, the mind, right? It's like, yo, dude, this way, bro. This way, bro.
I feel like it happens a lot with me too.
Right?
My head just wants to do the most logical thing, but my heart is telling me, no, this do this instead. Trust me, it will help or something.
Right, and for sure. I mean, like if you only listen to your heart, you go very weird places. So
yeah.
That's what we're being kind. So let's take this step by step. Okay, so here are the 25 highest paying jobs in America. Of course, being a doctor is the most. That's why all Jews are doctors. Yes, of course. Lawyers next. That's why all Jews are lawyers. Even though these days all Jews are working on Amazon. But as you can see, right, this is the graph. So 25 highest paying jobs. Pharmacy manager, surprisingly, is up there. We have software architect, that's big these days, right? IT manager, making 120K, nice 120K a year. It's good money. And here is the question. Should you go for the highest paying jobs? If that's where the money is, then should you go for that? And is there any other factors you need to weigh in before you choose your dream job and say, this is what I'm going to go for, this is what I'm going to learn in college, these are the credits that I'm going to get, I'm going to work towards this goal? Are there any other factors, guys, that may weigh into your decision?
Again, with what you enjoy, but also
besides from what you enjoy. You love your
I was about to go into that. Maybe as you grow up, people keep on suggesting to you what options to take. And if that person doesn't know within themselves, maybe they'll go within the recommendations other people tell them.
He's saying like where they enjoy.
Like let's say someone comes up to one person and says, oh, you should be this job, and another person says, oh, you should be this job.
Right. Okay.
So it also kind of affects from circumstances too.
He's saying it's the people telling you what jobs to take that will affect what job you take?
If they don't know, if the individual doesn't really know or have a clear idea of what they want to do, then yeah, that could be possible.
Right, that could be. And that might be a good idea if you trust the person. And also maybe, and we're actually going to see this, let's hold up on this. This is a very good point you're making, but we'll see soon what one rabbi told a person that actually came to him for business advice. But according to the Torah, there are a few more factors we need to take into in. I don't know if you have this text. I don't see text number. You guys have text from Simon Jacobson. Do you see that? It's right after text 2. Do you see that? Birth is God's way of saying you matter. Do you see that? Birth is God's way of saying you matter. Do you see that? No.
Rebbe, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I'm gonna have my book in front of me in just a second. I was just getting home.
Okay, yeah, no worries.
I can see it.
You see it, Nathan?
Too. Yes.
Oh, perfect. Nathan, can you read it?
Birth is God's way of saying you matter. This means you are absolutely necessary. You are indispensable to God's vision of the world, chosen to fulfill a mission in this world that you and only you can accomplish. Like musical notes in the grand divine composition, each of us has our unique music to play.
Beautiful. So first up, the Torah says, before we even get to your job, let's look at why you're born. And as we're going to see soon, put it very beautifully, if you're not born, basically you don't matter. You're like an angel, you don't matter. If you are born, you matter, and you're here for a reason, and you have to find that reason. You have to find that purpose. And that is a purpose that only you can do. Okay? So remember that point. Thank you, Nathan. Beautifully read. Tal, can you please read text 3 for us?
There is one Torah and one law for everyone. Nonetheless, more specifically speaking, no two souls are alike in this regard, as they all differ vis-a-vis at the time that they appear on this world. Not all generations are alike either, akin to the body, in which every individual limb has a unique function, the eye to see and the ears to hear.
Beautifully, beautiful. Rachel, can you sum that up in your own words, what Tal just said from text 3? You're muted.
Everyone is different in their own ways.
Perfect, beautiful. Everyone has their own talents and their unique talents, and that only you can do. That is from the Tanya, which, by the way, is the basis of all Chabad philosophy. Like, we are Chabad. I am a Chabad rabbi, and you, by extension, are friends of Chabad, and you are Chabad in that you are studying Chabad philosophy. So this is like the foundation of all Chabad, which is the Tanya. And the Tanya talks just about who we are as people. And this is a beautiful paragraph which tells us that every single person is special in their own way that no one else can do. It's unlike other religions where they say, Jay is going to die for all of us, or Muhammad is the leader, or in other religions there's this leader or the priest that will just atone for our sins. It sort of sends the message that what we do doesn't really matter. Someone else can do it for us. And Judaism says, no, only you can do your job. Only you. There's no one else. And that's what we're going to see in text 4 and 5, which we're going to read outside. But I'm going to ask one of you to read one part of it. In text 4, we focus on the Yom Kippur prayers, where it says, before I was created, I was not worthy of being created. But now that I am created, it's as if I wasn't even created. What are we saying in this paragraph? It seems to be very confusing. Before I was created, I wasn't worthy of being created. But now that I am created, I shouldn't have been created at all. What's going on? So Rab Kook, a very famous rabbi in Israel, who started a yeshiva there called the Kook Yeshiva, something like that. Merkaz Harav Yeshiva. Yeah, Merkaz Harav Yeshiva. Anyways, he writes that before you are created, you are meaningless. You are nothing. The only people that matter are the people in this world, right? Because the very fact that you got created means that you have something you can contribute to society. So if you're not created, you're not born yet, then you have nothing to contribute, and that's why you were not created, right? So you have nothing to contribute. But now that you are created, well, let's see something. Wait 1 second. Are you doing your mission? You don't even know what your mission is. So therefore it follows that you shouldn't have been created at all. You're not worthy of being created because you're not fulfilling your mission. Now, of course, a little harsh. Everyone needs to try and find the mission, but the point is that just the fact that you are here in this class and in this world means that you are important. It means that you matter, right? Just the very fact that you're here in this world, that's it. You don't have to do anything. Just that you are being, you matter. Which is why Judaism is so strongly against suicide, because suicide means you're denying the fact that you matter. How dare you deny that you matter? You matter, and you're saying that, no, I don't matter. out of marriage to this world. Really? You don't, out of all people, you're saying that? That's terrible. How could you say that about yourself? We often know that we matter, we are important, we are special, we are amazing just because we are here in this world. Booyakasha, mind blown, right? And just to really bring this home, can someone read, Nathan, can you please read the precise moment? Can read from the beginning, middle of the paragraph of text 5, the precise moment. Can you read that?
The precise moment of my creation is the moment when I am needed to fulfill my purpose and thereby complete all that exists. And now that I have been created, had I really succeeded in channeling all of my deeds for the purpose of my creation, I would be worthy of having been created. But since I have not succeeded in this, I am no more worthy of having been created than before.
Wow. So let's do our mission. Let's find our mission. So that's the first thing that we got to think about before we find that career job is, why are you here in this world? What's your purpose? Okay. And we're going to see why that's so important in the next step over here.
Debbie, what text are we up to?
We are up to text 6. Before we get to text 6, on the screen over here, I have a very mumble jumbled sentence, but we need to fit it into 2 lines over here. Can you guys help me? Tell me what
Life is a purpose, or purpose of life.
Let's start with word by word. So pick a word and tell me where it should go. Where do you think it should go?
The.
Good. That is the first word. All right. The.
The purpose of life is a purpose.
Oh, cool. The purpose. There you go. Who is it? Eden. Good job, Eden.
Yeah.
The purpose of life. Okay.
I think you could put is after that.
Good. Is
A
a
life of purpose.
There you go. Is a life of purpose. You guys like that? Yeah. Go this way. Oh my gosh. Dude, it's not listening to me. There we go. Okay. Life. Purpose. Purpose of life is a life of purpose. Mind blown. Okay, so we're not up to this one yet. Just hold this thought over here. So text 6, Akiva, now that you're ready, can you please read for us text 6 from the Rebbe? It's stated in the book of Ayom Yom, which is a beautiful book that I suggest all of you to read. Every day there is a very short, inspiring thought of the day. It's a really great book. And if you'd like it, then I can send it to you for free as a present to you for being in such a wonderfully prestigious class called CTeenU University. So let me know if you want that book. It's a great, great book, and I will happily buy it for you. Text 6, Akiva, take it away.
Every mitzvah has its own unique segula or reward.
Wait, one second. Well, what? Are you in lesson 11?
No, listen to, I'm on
Page
lesson
263.
10. Lesson 11. I was on lesson 10. Okay. Everyone, regardless of their station or location, must through an exhaustive search seek out a spiritual livelihood with all the intensity of his strength, just as they seek material livelihood.
Beautiful. Wow. So sounds pretty scary, right? Does anyone here know their spiritual livelihood? Has anyone got a clue about where their spiritual livelihood is, what their spiritual career is going to be? No?
What is a spiritual career? What do you mean by that?
The dude that sits in the back of the shul and says good job and Yasser Koyach to everyone that does stuff.
Not the candy man?
No, but really, I would like to understand better about it.
For sure, yeah, good question, Tal. There's two parts to your life. There's your spiritual, your metaphysical life, which is the things outside of any physical action. So it's your thoughts, your feelings, your connection to God, to your fellow man, but in a non-physical way. And then there's your physical life, money and working and anything with your hands that you see around you. So there's two paths to your world, and they're both important. But we spend so much time thinking about our job, and the Rebbe says here that just as much as important to figure out what your career job is going to be, it's just as important, maybe even more, to figure out how your spiritual life is going to be, how your everything else about your feelings, your emotions, because that will really direct your physical life. And if you have a healthy spiritual life, then you will have also a healthy physical and rich life. So that's what we're saying here. And so here's where Steve Jobs comes in, because Steve Jobs says, do what you love, right? But it's more than that, because we're going to do a little activity. Does anyone have a fork, a plastic fork, and a bowl of water near them? Can everyone get that real fast? Raise your hand if you're going to do that. Okay, Akiva, you're on it. You got next. Does anyone have a toothbrush and a toothbrush and a cucumber? Who was getting that? Toothbrush and cucumber. Toothbrush and cucumber.
A toothbrush, but I don't have a cucumber.
Okay, any other vegetable? The watermelon, pineapple, tomato, orange. And any food.
And then get an onion.
Onion, perfect, get an onion. Oh yeah, and also Tal, get an onion and a spoon, okay?
Onion and a spoon.
Yeah, onion
Okay,
and a
I'll be
spoon.
back.
Okay, and Nathan, do you have by any chance have scissors and a pencil?
Yeah.
Perfect, scissors and pencil for you. And Rachel, if you can please get a spoon, I'm sorry, a marker and a piece of paper. Do you have that? A marker and paper?
Yeah.
Perfect, okay. All right, little activity here. Do-do-do-do-do. All right, Akiva, you are first. Akiva, your challenge is to, well, that's a lot of water, is to try and, with just the fork, get a quarter of that water into your mouth with just the fork. Go for it. We are gonna spotlight Akiva here. Ready?
Rebbe, can I just like
No, you have to use the fork.
fork?
Yes, just the fork. How's it going?
I think I got like 2 drops.
Good. Keep going, Akiva. We'll be here all day. Okay, well, Akiva's working on that. Rachel, you're back. Rachel, do you have your marker and paper? Okay, your job is to cut your paper with just the marker, okay? And cut it straight down the middle. Clean cut, straight down the middle with just the marker.
That's too hard.
No, clean cut, straight down the middle. Tal is back too. Tal, you are spotlighted as well, and your job is to wait, what do you have with the onion? You have a spoon, right?
Yeah, onion.
Perfect. You need to cut
And
your
shrimp.
onion with a spoon. Okay?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Oh,
If I keep going,
Yeah.
keep going. Good job, Rachel. That's almost straight. Nathan, are you back?
It cannot cut
Yeah, I'm
through.
here.
what should I do with
My
my
spoon's-
orange and toothbrush?
Nathan, you gotta sharpen your pencil with your scissors. Okay.
Okay.
And Eden, you need to make any cut possible, just to get a chunk of that onion out with
I
just
actually have an orange.
Oh, an orange, even better. With just the orange, cut the toothbrush cut the orange straight in half.
Darn.
I don't want to ruin it though.
You'll eat it afterwards, don't worry.
It's very blunt, my spoon, so I can't really do anything.
All right. I think just by measuring all our losses up, I think Rachel is the winner of Akiva's still going. He's still going. It'll be your whole day, man. It's good that my chem work that I ripped. Teacher, why is your work ripped? Because
Very blunt.
you were supposed to cut it with markers. Wow. How's it? I can't see the onion.
Rebby, it's no fair. She got the easiest one.
What, Rachel?
Yeah,
And-
marker, paper.
all right, go for it, Rachel. Marker and paper. Go, Akiva. Let's see your cut.
Rebby, I got you. That's like a quarter.
Congratulations.
That's like 1% of it.
Good job. 1%. You're the 1%er. There you go.
Oh, no, Rebby, I'm the 0.2%er.
Oh, he just said 2.2%. All right.
I'm up there with Bill Gates and Elon Musk.
Yeah. I'll make sure to let them know they should hire you just by the fact that you're so good with your fork. Okay, so as you can clearly tell, this was a great exercise because it clearly shows us that there's more than just loving what you work. You need also to have the right tools and abilities. So if I gave the scissors to Tal to cut the onion, and instead I gave the sharpener to Nathan, and I let Akiva use that spoon that Tal was using for the onion, and instead of the toothbrush, I gave Eden the marker. That wouldn't really help. Anyways, the point is, if we shuffled around the tools, you guys would have a much easier time. But you didn't have the right tools. So that's the example of if you're going into your career choice just by the virtue of you loving it, then it may be that you really suck at that line of work. But the good thing is that you're probably great at other things that you may not love as much, but you have the perfect tandem of loving it and being good at it. And that's the killer combination right there. The good news is that usually what we love is what we are good at. That's usually how it works. And that is straight from the Torah, in fact, from Rabbi Bechaya, who made called the Chovos Levavos, an amazing book that talks about our character traits and how we can believe in God and have a good life and our thoughts and our feelings. And he says in text 7, Eden, can you please read the first paragraph of text 7 for us? Page 263, everyone.
Yes. Everyone has a preference for a particular work or business over others. God implants a love and fondness for it in a person's nature, as he implemented in a cat the nature to hunt mice, or the falcon to hunt smaller birds, or the deer to trap snakes.
Keep going, you're doing good.
Oh. Some birds hunt only fish, and likewise, each animal species has a liking and desire for particular plants or animals, which God has implemented to be the means for its sustenance, and the structure of its body and limbs is suited for that thing.
Beautiful. So that's how animals work, is that they give them the right tools to be perfect for that, right? The cats have claws so they can grab, the giraffes are tall so they can reach the leaves, right? Yep. Anyone has dogs or cats at home or goldfish, right? No one? Anyone? Same thing as with people. And Rachel, please read the second paragraph of text 7 for us. Third paragraph, whatever. Page 263.
Similarly, you will find among human beings character traits and body structures suited for certain businesses or activities. One who finds their nature and personality attracted to a certain occupation and their body is suited for it and able to bear its demands. they should pursue it and make it their means of earning a livelihood.
Beautiful. And that is exactly what we're saying here. Thank you, Rachel. That if you are drawn to it, just make sure before you go to it that you are suited for that. Your heart may be blinding you and saying, I really want to do it, but it may be like the picture we saw where the heart's going one way and the brain's like, hey, this doesn't make sense for me. I don't have those tools. I can't be the best in the field in that regard. I am the best at something. I am unique in one regard, and I'm going to find that thing, and that's probably something that I'm going to love doing too. And like we see in text 8, what can happen to an animal when he gets the wrong tools, like a pig. Let's find out what happens to that pig. Text 8. Who are we up to over here? Nathan? Akiva? Akiva, go ahead.
Okay. And Rav Zitra bar Tvia said that Rav said, what is the meaning of that which is written? He has made everything beautiful in its time, and he has placed the world in their heart. Yet so man cannot find out the work that God has done from the beginning, even to the end.
Just pause right there, pause right there. We could take out the brackets. They're just going to confuse you. So let's go back. What is the meaning of the words, he has made everything beautiful in its time? Carry on, Akiva.
This teaches that each and every individual, God has made his work pleasant for him in his own eyes.
Beautiful. Can carry on?
Rav Papa said, this is the proverb that people say, hang a heart of palm on a pig, and he will continue to perform his standard activities.
Right.
Read the brackets on that one.
Yeah, you can read the brackets here.
Although hearts of palm are a delicacy, a pig will roll it in the mud, as is his wont. Every creature has its own particular taste, and one cannot draw conclusions with regard to one based on the standards of another.
Beautiful, Akiva. And the same goes with people. We all have our own standards, our own talents, our own personality. So just because that guy is doing great in his line of work does not mean that I will also do great. We go back to, if we just go back here for a second, to this over here. How many times we say, oh, I'm going to be talking to so much, I'm a lawyer. It's irrelevant what other people make and what other people do, because I may not be suited for that. So let's stop looking for the money or the grandeur or the fame or the riches or Hollywood. Let's stop looking for that, because that's just going to lead us to the wrong places. That's not the right way to find the right career choice. The right way to go about it is by starting off and saying, what's my purpose in life, right? Then, okay, what do I love to do and what am I good at? Let's put those two together and let's find the perfect job. And now the question you could ask, and this is what text 9 is, so it's a little side point, but we're just going to sort of do it outside text 9, is that you could say, hey, making money, it's for, it's for non-Jewish people. I'm a holy person. I'm not going to abuse God's world, or even like environmentalists that say, oh, don't use the world, don't waste the world. We shouldn't waste, but don't even use the world. Like don't chop down a tree so you can build a house, right? You shouldn't chop down a tree for no reason, but if it's to inhabit a city, then you chop down the tree and you build another tree in another place so that you can continue creating the world. But what is the argument to that the Torah makes? The Torah says that everything in the world is here to be used, everything. And that goes for our bodies and everything outside of us. So if you have a limb in your body that you're not using, what happens to that? Any gym people here? What happens to your abs, whatever?
Doesn't
They
it
get weak, Rebbe.
weak?
That's right, flabby, right?
Rebbe, that's why you can't skip any day, especially leg day, Rebbe. If you
Gains,
skip
man.
leg day,
Gains.
what are you doing?
I noticed some like paralyzed people, like if you look at their legs, they're like really like thin and like frail because they don't use them anymore.
Right.
So
Right. It's like the Popeye, it's like one big muscle here and like flabby everywhere else, because You got to use everything out. So everything you have, and that's also your talents. Your talents have to be used out. So find your talents and use them, and stop looking at other people's talents and other people's jobs and saying, I'm going to go do that. I'm going to go do that, because that's wasting what you have and trying to use things that you do not have. Okay.
I heard of this saying of, if you don't use it, you lose it.
Oh, I love it. Nice, Rachel.
I've heard of that saying too.
Yo, hashtag, if you don't use it, you lose it. My name is Rabbit T, yo. I'm going on.
Unless you're talking
yo.
about money.
If you lose it, then you lose it, yo. Don't use it, then you lose it. Gotta use it, then you lose it. If you don't use it. Beautiful. Thank you, Rachel. And text 10.
If it's money, you gotta save it though.
Oh, save it to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Use it in the bank. Just sit there. Yeah. Okay. Well, we're not there yet. We're figuring out how to make money. So we'll get there in the next class. Text 10 answers the question that Tal asked about what about, asking someone, getting advice from people. So text 10, very interesting take from a rabbi who was asked what this guy should do. And let's read that from Nathan. Nathan, take it away. Text 10, page 266. Rabbi Natan. Nathan, you there? Okay, back to you, Tal.
Text 10, right?
Yes.
Rav Soloveitchik, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes, perfect.
Would never tell his students what they should be when they asked him this question. A very prominent Orthodox rabbi, another one of my classmates, got semicha while attending law school at night.
Pause right there. Smicha is when someone becomes a rabbi. He becomes ordained as a rabbi. Okay, continue on.
He asked the Rav which profession to choose as his career and was very discouraged when the Rav refused to give him an answer. My interpretation is that the Rav was communicating to that person that other people cannot make that decision for you. When your reason for a career is to satisfy someone else, it is not the right decision. The end of the story is that my classmate chose to become a practicing rabbi, and I think he is a much more successful Rav because he's fulfilling his dream in life, not simply carrying out orders from his Rebbe.
Wow. Isn't that beautiful? And you see that also in when people marry someone and do something for the other spouse that the spouse, they wouldn't do on their own. Like some people convert to Judaism for their spouse, which is why Orthodox conversion, we're very careful that you want to convert because you want to convert, not because someone else is encouraging you to. Because what can happen there is that you do it for a few years, but then you kind of get bored of it and you get angry at the other person because you only really did it for them. You didn't do it because you wanted it. So in this case, the same thing could have happened where he became a lawyer and then he became angry at himself, at the world, at the rabbi, because he had given advice that it wasn't his real true calling. And that's why it's so important that we come to the conclusion on our own. And yes, we can get advice from other people and hear other people's sage advice. That's important, but the decision must be ours. Okay, so that's step one in figuring out what we should be. And that's really the foundation. Step two, why is business actually valued in Torah? So I've got a question for you guys. The question is, I want you guys to choose a side. If you were to say the most honorable job, according to the Torah, would it be someone who is like the creator, like the manufacturer, or the farmer, the one that actually creates the goods? Or is it the middleman who buys the goods and then sells them at a higher price? Which one would be viewed more favorably by the Torah?
Who are the two people again, Rabbi?
Again, the wholesaler, the guy that actually makes the good, that creates it from scratch and then sells his stuff, or is the middleman who buys those stuff and then sells it, the retailer, he sells it at a higher price to the customer.
The dude who makes it.
The guy who makes it.
Yeah.
The guy who makes it breaks it.
The guy who makes it takes it.
The guy who makes it names it.
The guy who makes it shakes it.
The guy who makes it shames it. Shames.
Shames. Oh, the guy who makes it tames it.
Wait, but wouldn't the guy that's using it fulfill the creator's purpose?
So you're saying that this is the creator is better because you mean the guy who the middleman. Interesting. Or you could say his real purpose was it to be used, and the middleman is not even using it. He's just passing it on to the next person. But that's an interesting thought of that. Okay, well, you guys will be very surprised to hear the answer. It is business. It is the middleman.
I had a feeling it would be that answer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You like biding
But
your time.
I just wanted to hear what other people said because
Well, why do you think it's the middleman, Tom?
the middleman is the person really getting everything going. Like he's taking the profits and then, selling them at the higher price. Although the creator does have a very valuable job as well, he's the one creating. The middleman is the one actually making the profits.
And that would be better according to the Torah?
Because he provides it to the people.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay. I see. He's
Thank you. I was
getting-
trying to explain that, but I couldn't
Right.
find the words to it.
Got it. Nice. Thank you again for helping out there. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay, interesting. So now the obvious question that you could ask would be, is this from last? Oh yeah. Okay, well, I've seen some really cool guys from this from the first topic, but we'll show this really quick. Amazing
His
story.
parents knew from the minute he was born that their son was something special. By 10 months old, he could already walk and talk eloquently. And by age 5, he was reading and comprehending Shakespeare. All this impressed his family and his community in rural Nurpur, India. But Jaswal's literacy was not his most amazing trait. Jaswal also had a proclivity for science and medicine. He blew through medical textbooks and had a relatively sound knowledge of common surgical practices. This became relevant when an impoverished family in a nearby village learned of Jaswal's abilities. Their toddler had burned her hands so severely that her fingers curled up and the skin melted together. Due to her family's poverty, she was never operated on, and for years the little girl's hand was useless. The family could not afford to visit a traditional doctor, and because Jaswal was only 7 years old at the time, they pleaded with Jaswal to perform the surgery. He finally consented. After signing a waiver, Jaswal agreed to do the surgery free of charge. In the following weeks, his parents ordered surgical knives, camera equipment, and anesthesia for the occasion. On November 19th, 2000, Jaswal performed his first surgery and separated the girl's fingers for the first time after an hour-long operation. Jaswal's parents documented the surgery and uploaded the footage online. Within days, their son was an internet sensation, and a few months later, Oprah Winfrey interviewed Akri Jaswal in one of her Little Genius segments. Since then, Jaswal has left the limelight, but he is currently studying bioengineering at university in India and hopes to find a cure for cancer.
Wow, amazing.
Okay. I feel like in this case he's like an old soul or something because there is
Like the
no way a
reincarnation.
7-year-old can do that.
Right.
Normally.
It's crazy. I know. I mean, it's also like a third world country, so crazy things happen. But like that would never fly in America. But it's clearly a case, though, of someone who knows what he wants to do from a very young age. Some people are very lucky that they have that. And some people, and it could be that's not even his calling. Maybe he'll get to be 20 and he'll be like, I mean, the guy's now what, like 12, 13 years old, in 10 years, he may decide something else, but at least he had that early on in his life, that amazing thrill to know that I am fulfilling a higher calling. I'm not just doing, just work. Also, just to finish off on that point, I forgot to mention, but so the two things, there's really three things that we need to find our career job, and that is, number one is find your higher calling. Why are you here in life? Right? We discussed that. And then the second thing is, what do you love? What are you passionate about? And then third thing is, what are you good at? What are your talents? So it's three things. When you put them together, you have your career job. Okay, so so really Steve Jobs was half right because he said, do what you love, but it's more than that. It's do what you love and make sure you're good at it and make sure that that's what your calling is, your purpose is in life. Okay, so text 11, let's see what the Gemara, the Talmud says about work. What is better? Someone going to work and actually work in the field, the farmer, or the businessman who's taking all that produce and selling it for a higher profit? Text 11, Nathan, can you read that for us?
Text 11.
Go for it.
Rav entered between the sheaves in a field and saw them waiting in the wind. He said to them, if you want to wave, go ahead and wave, but conducting business is better than farming with you.
Beautiful. Next paragraph, keep going.
Rav similarly said, one who has 100 dinars that are invested in a business is able to eat meat and wine every day, whereas he who has 100 dinars worth of land eats only salt and vegetables.
Beautiful, excellent. So it just, I don't know if it's so clear, but what basically saying is that it's better to have money invested or to be the middleman than to actually own the land and or own the 5 fruit that you have. You could do more with the money that you invest than if you just have a plot of land. In the Gemara. Similarly, we see in text 12 how Rabbi Yeshua said that you should, a person should deal with merchandise faithfully, be a middleman, right? He should also pray to Hashem, but he also can't just pray to Hashem. He also needs to be a businessman who deals with merchandise, buys and sells, okay? Text 13, we see the same thing. The word Canaan is the olden day name for the land of, does anyone know which country? Does anyone know Canaan?
What's Canaan?
Egypt?
Nope.
Israel?
It's Canaan.
Israel, yes. Who said Israel?
I did.
Good job, Tal. Yes, Canaan is the biblical name. Before Israel got its name, it was Canaan. And what is the meaning of the name Canaan? Does anyone see? Anyone know? Look in text 13.
It says whose merchants were
Land of commerce.
A land of commerce. Thank you, Eden. It's a land of business, of merchandise swapping hands. And we see Jacob, our forefather, also did this middleman business stuff. What did he do? It's in text 14. There's 3 opinions what he did. Can anyone say any of those 3 opinions what Jacob did?
Established a currency for them.
Beautiful. Thank you, Akiva. Currency. Number 2. He created the marketplace. He actually created the marketplace where people would come to buy and sell. And Rabbi Yochanan says, what did he do?
Bathhouses.
Bathhouses, which actually is interesting because in those days, people would go to the bathhouse and they would like, it was kind of like the marketplace. People would sit there and be like, oh, I have a friend. Oh, you need cloth? Oh, my friend Shmuel. Yeah, in Afghanistan. That's right, in Egypt. Oh, okay. And they would talk, while they're enjoying themselves in the bathhouse. So, and Jacob was a businessman. So it's clearly not a shameful job to be the middleman making a profit. It's not illegal at all. And the Torah actually encourages it. And why? So let's go to text 15 to see what was so important about this middleman. Why? Some of you said some good reasons already, but here we're going to say a very nice reason. Text 15. Eden, can you please read that for us?
They will call people to the mountain. Through Zebulun's commerce, merchants of the world's nations will come to his land. Now,
Okay, pause right there, Eden. Sorry, 1 second. Zebulun was one of the tribes of Israel. There were 12 tribes, and Zebulun was one of them. And every tribe did its thing. Zebulun, they were business people. So to carry on, Eden, go for it.
now Zebulun is located at the border, so these merchants will say, since we have taken so much trouble to reach here, let us go to Jerusalem and see what the God of this nation is like and what they do. They will see all of Israel worshiping the God worshiping one God and eating one kind of food. Only what is permissible to them, only they will be astonished, because among the nations the deity of one is not like the deity of another, and the food is one not like the food of another. So they will say, there is no nation as worthy as this one. Consequently, they will convert to Judaism there, as our verse says. There they will offer up righteous sacrifices, and all of this will be due to Zebulun's commerce.
Wow. So what did Zebulun do? They did something amazing. They created a culture of people that get to know about Judaism. They made people aware of Judaism. Why? And they didn't do this through Torah learning. They didn't do this through telling people to do a mitzvah. They just did business, and people came to business with them. And they said, well, while we're already here, let's look around. And they were amazed at what a beautiful nation Israel was. And they got to know it through that way. And Zevulun were exactly that, middlemen, because they had those connections to other people. Whereas if they were just farmers, they would never have met those people because they don't deal with them. That's not the farmer's job. The farmer just creates them. So that's very interesting. And we see those in text 16, which I'll say outside, it's a long one, from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs. May his memory be a blessing for us. And he says that a Jewish lawyer once came to him and said, I don't understand, like, I'm a Jew at home, Jew wherever I go, but I feel like that I don't serve God when I work. I feel like there's nothing that I do at work that is about God, and I feel bad about that. And Rabbi Sachs was really amazed and really like that he didn't understand how important he would, and how really he was serving God even when he worked. Can anyone guess how this businessman, this lawyer, was serving God while he worked? Based on text. So
He was a shliach.
And how? How was he a shliach?
I don't know.
Kiva, what is a shliach?
Messenger.
A messenger. But a shliach really is not something fancy. You don't have to go around giving out tefillins. You just be an amazing Jew, and then people look at you and say, I want to be like you. Akiva, you're a shliach too. And Eden and Tal and Rachel, Nathan, you guys are all shluchim just by being a good Jew. When you go to work and school and people see you, they say, wow, you are a Jew. And this happens primarily to the businessmen that are out there in the marketplace walking around, right? They're doing things, they're meeting people, and people look at them and say, what's that kippah? And what's those tzitzit? Wow, that's so cool. Like, we're gonna play this quick game where it's called Name That Jew, not to name that Jew. Here we go. Name that Jew. Can anyone guess who this Jew is? This is a Torah observant Jew who keeps Shabbat. Can we guess who this is? This guy.
Your grandparents.
No.
Bill Gates.
Nope. Politician.
Adam Sandler.
No.
What?
Adam Sandler.
Do you know who Adam Sandler is?
Joe.
Oh, you said politician. I was thinking
Politician.
of saying that before.
Okay, who's this guy?
It's a joke.
Wait, Rebbe, who was it?
Joe Lieberman.
I've never seen the next person before.
He's a British singer. And he's Torah observant.
Ed Sheeran?
No.
No, not Ed Sheeran.
Because he's redhead
Alex
doesn't
Clare.
mean he's
I
Ed
never
Sheeran.
heard of him.
Post
Alex
Malone.
Clare. Okay, how about this one?
Kelly Clarkson.
Nope. Think The Big Bang Theory.
Did she play Amy?
The mom.
No. Wait, was she Amy? I'm not sure. I didn't watch it a lot, but she was.
I don't
She
know.
was Amy.
She was Amy. Mayim Bialik. Is Amy the one with the glasses? Oh, very good, Rachel. Good job. Mayim Bialik. I'm very proud. She lives in Hollywood. How about this guy?
Ben.
Oh, I've seen him.
Ben Shapiro.
And Shapiro.
This is my guy, Remy.
Yo, with
This is
that
the
keeper.
guy.
He
I've
is
heard of him.
awesome. He is awesome. How about her?
Melania Trump.
Oh,
Ivanka
close.
Trump.
Ivanka Trump. There you go.
Didn't she convert?
Bro, Revy, that's what I meant. That's what I meant. I just like you.
Didn't she
You
convert?
know what I meant. You know what I meant.
I don't know. You're not making America great again, Akira. No. And here is a woman that's going to talk to us. She's the daughter of Max Azria, who is he passed away, the late owner of BCBG. You girls know about that store, right? BCBG, it's a clothing store. So anyways, she is his daughter and a proud religious Orthodox Jew. Check her out.
Even when I travel for a business trip and I have to tell somebody, oh, sorry, I can host you in a kosher restaurant, but I can't go to that restaurant. They automatically start to ask questions, or they'll comment that my hair was short last week, but it's long this week. How did that work? The true entrepreneurs, the true leaders, they all have that quality in common, and they have this sense of respect for people that really hold to their values. I'm so proud of who I am. I'm proud to cover my hair. I'm proud to be keeping Shabbat. I'm proud to be, raising my children in an Orthodox life. And so as long as it doesn't bother someone else, those walls are broken as soon as anybody will let me in.
Wow, beautiful. She lives in LA, in Hollywood, has a clothing store. She's, one of the big part owners of this humongous clothing apparel store. It's international, and she is proudly religious. She creates clothing. It's all modest clothing because she's religious. Amazing. And that is what happens when you're a proud Jew and you're a business. When you're meeting other people, what happens? What's this one word that we keep saying? What's business in one word?
Something you love.
Love.
Sliach.
What is her store's name again?
Her name is Joyce. Joyce Azria.
How do you spell it?
Joyce. Joyce.
It's like joy, but add the s.
Right, exactly.
What the last name?
Azria, but look it up after class.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just like Airbnb, right? Airbnb, I love them or hate them. I don't know if you guys do Airbnb or Vrbo or whatever it is. Point is, Airbnb has created a company model where everything's connected, and like even you go to their hub, their main base. I think it's in Silicon Valley. It's built to be like that, where there's a lot of networking going on. It's natural, and that's what Airbnb is trying to create community where there's connections. And when you're a proud Jew in the middle of all that, and everyone's looking at you, you are making such a proud Kiddush Hashem. You are making the world aware of how great Hashem is. That's called a Kiddush Hashem. Think about what happens to the T-shirt you're wearing. Think about it for a second.
Hi there, I'm John Green. This is Crash Course World History, and today we're going to talk about the Silk Road, so called because it was not a road and was not made of silk. So this is a t-shirt. It was designed in Belgium and contains cotton from both Brazil and Texas, which was turned into cloth in China, stitched in Haiti, screen printed in Washington, sold to me in Indiana, and now that I am too fat to wear it, it will soon make its way to Cameroon or Honduras or possibly even back to Haiti. Can we just pause for a moment to consider the astonishing fact that most t-shirts see more of the world than
most of us? Yes, that's what I meant to say again. Right? And again, when you're the guy in the middle that's churning all the wheels and making this all work and passing all the merchandise around the world, then you are really making a proud Kiddush Hashem. You are sharing with the world about Judaism. And that's one way where a businessman can actually spread godliness to the world more than a rabbi sitting in his little synagogue can. Because you meet so many people, you make so many connections. And that's what we see.
So you're saying it's better to be rich than a rabbi?
Be a rich rabbi, okay? Just be a rich rabbi.
Rich rabbi.
Rich rabbi.
Wow.
Oh, let's grab that handle before someone else takes it, yeah? So some people feel, in text 18, we can read it together. Some people feel the very existence of others in this world and their needs puts a greater burden on the population, right? And takes away from their own needs. This is a mistaken outlook. The truer perspective is that the more people that there are in the world, there's more individual talents, there's more unique abilities that you can share, right? Now look at China, what they did with all their billions of people. They put them hard to work. But imagine what they could do if every one of those people all innovated and created. Imagine how much better they could be. And that's what's happening in America with these startups. And in Israel, look at Israel. They have so much encouraged this startup mentality where you have a unique dream and ability, go for it. And we're going to see a few of those examples. Actually, the owner of a very famous stroller company from Israel. So that is straight from the Torah. It is a beautiful thing to be able to be a businessman. And on this screen on the here you see, very interesting. So we know that you're supposed to give 1/10 of your earnings away, right? But what you don't know is that it's only the 1/10 of what you actually walk away with. Any business expenses you don't include in the 1/10. So if you make $11,000 a month, but you pay around $6,000, $7,000 in expenses, and you're only left with $5,000, you only pay $500 in your tax, your tzedakah. Why is that? Why are you not paying for the business expense? Because that is part of God's dream. God, what shouldn't, like, technically speaking, your trip around the world to go sell your t-shirts, that's not part of God's plan in the world, right? That's you taking a leisure trip. Why shouldn't you have to give tzedakah on that too? And the answer is because no, that's part of God's dream too. God wants you to travel around the world and meet new people. You're spreading godliness wherever you go. So the more you have these expenses, it means the more you're doing in the world, the more things you're using, and the more people that you're connecting with, that you can spread godliness. So definitely go on trips and go and spread and use the world around you, because through that you will share godliness. And that's what a businessman does.
Do you have to take your 10% off after taxes or before taxes? Like, let's say you make $900, but taxes takes like $200. Do you have to take 10% of 900 or 10% of 700?
Great question. It's after tax. It's whatever you actually earn. So a lot of times you only get your tax returns at the end of the year, so you won't really know what that is. But if you're paid on the books, then yeah, it's whatever you earn after taxes, actually earn. Good question, Akiva. So let's finish this off with one last beautiful thing. When we look at being as a businessman, we say, okay, I'm going to be a businessman. I'm going to make connections. What type of business should I start though? There's so many opportunities, right? There's so many different businesses. Let's just rattle off a few that you can think of, guys. A few, just rattle them off. Go for it. Types of businesses that you can go into right now.
I'm getting lost. What page are we?
We're gonna be on page 276 in just a second. We're not there yet. What's a few types of businesses you can go into? Got the fast food industry, right? What else? Nathan, any ideas? You're a businessman.
Tech.
Tech, awesome.
Film industry.
Film industry.
Fashion.
And there's also shows.
Fashion.
TV shows.
TV shows, Hollywood. There's the nonprofit sector. There's the health. There's the beauty. There's there's a lot of different ones. There's manual labor. So what should you go into, right? So let me see if you guys can get the common denominator between all these people. Uber, Airbnb, Tesla, Swimply, Tafudi, Duna, PayPal. What do they all have in common?
They make money.
Yeah, they make lots of money.
They could be digital too.
They could be digital, but how did they all start? What happened? Why did they start? Why did they get big?
People need them and
Oh,
need them.
beautiful. There's a need. There you go. Travis Kalanick was the founder of Uber, and he started because he couldn't find a taxi in Paris. Joe Gebbia, which I was trying to figure out if he's Jewish or not. I don't think he is, but one of his co-founders is. He started Airbnb. You know why? Because some people needed a place to sleep, and he had a big apartment in San Francisco. He let them sleep there. He's like, oh, that's a great idea. I'll make $1, right? Airbnb was started. This guy Swimply. Ever heard of Swimply before, guys? It's really cool. It's Airbnb, but for pools. So like you don't rent out your house, just your pool. And you could rent out your pool for people to come and hang out there for a day. It's kind of weird if you ask me, like someone just random stranger going to your pool. But he's making a pretty buck. He's an Orthodox Jew, this guy. He's tzitzis. And he did it also because he didn't have a pool when he grew up and he really wanted one, right? He saw the need. Duner, this is the guy, the Israeli I was telling about. He's an Israeli guy, and he started Duna. This is a great, anyone that's nieces or nephews, right? You know what a Duna? It's perfect. It's a wagon. You push like a stroller, but then it folds up to be a car seat. And he did that because he was looking at the market. He said, well, there's nothing that I can just easily make into a car seat from a stroller. And finally, we have, are we frozen? I think we're frozen. Oh, was that the last one? Oh, that was it. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, that's it. So the common denominator is that all these people found a need, a common need in their social environment. And they went with that need and they made something from that. So if you want to look for something to do, it's not to get in competition with someone, it's to find, how can I help the world? How can I be of help to the world? Like you see in text 19, this is not from the Torah, but it's a very nice point that entrepreneuring is to look at what is holding us back as a society and what can get us to the next step. Let's go create that thing. That is where I'm going to create my business. Now, not always will you find the most success, but certain people that have the entrepreneurial spirit will thrive in this area. And in general, always, even if it's not creating something new, it's just being something new. Don't try to replicate what's already being done or what your friend's doing, because they do it and they do it well. Do what you can do, what you can do best. Do that and look for what the need is, right? And text 20, you see something very interesting. Text 20 on page 277, that there's a hotel that's still standing in Japan, and it was founded in, can you guess what year? Text 20?
It says 705.
705. How many years old does that make it?
1,000.
Over 1,000.
Over 1,000. It's 1,317 years old as of 2 days ago. Wow. 1,300 years old. And why? How is it able to be so stay around for that long? So this professor said because they're not in it just to make a buck, to make a profit. Their central belief is that we're here to create value to society. So they look at the hotel every few years and say like, okay, what's needed from us right now? How can we adapt? How can we change? We're not just looking to make money. We're looking to be the best thing we can be for the people that live around us. And that's why you see Tesla these days, they're sharing their technology with other competitors. Doesn't that sound counterintuitive? If they want to grow, like, don't share your secrets. Can anyone guess why they would share their secrets with other companies?
So that they could adapt, and not only that, but just make the world better in general.
Yes, very good. And they make
Electric becomes the basis for society, so it makes them make more money.
Oh, there you go. It makes the world a better place, like Tal said. And then Now it raises the model. So now exactly they can make more money, which is what happened with Tesla. Now more and more people are buying electronic cars, and they buy Teslas because they're the best cars, because Tesla's created this whole revolution of electronic cars. If they were doing it all on their own, there might not be so many people that would be interested in buying electronic cars, because it'd be much of a very narrow market. So it's actually they're gaining, but by how? Because they're not looking at their personal gain. They're looking at, let's just make the whole world a better place. Like, it's a very broad outlook. It's a great outlook. So when you look in your business line, don't look at how am I going to make money? How am I going to create value to the world? That is the best business model that you can embark on when you choose your career. So text 21, it's a not great, and the point is that we should try to copy God. God is kind, we should be kind. God is merciful, we should be merciful. So what did God do? What's the first thing that we know that God did?
He created.
He created the world. Text 22. In the beginning, Hashem created, Reshit bara Elokim, the world. He created the world. Text 23. Tal, please read that for us.
The scriptural portion of the creation narrative is the legal portion, in which are to be found basic, everlasting, halachic principles. If the Torah then chose to relate to man the tale of creation, we may clearly derive one law from this manner of procedure, viz., that man is obligated to engage in creation and the renewal of the cosmos.
No worries, Tal. Beautiful job. If we copy God, then for sure we should copy the very first thing that God did, which is that he created the world. So we should be engaged with creating, not copying what our friend is doing, but creating, looking how can we innovate? How can we, and by the way, guys, just to clarify, that doesn't mean that we have to create an invention, but what it means is that even if we're going to choose to be a lawyer or a doctor that doesn't innovate, but provides a service, but let's try to create a better or a new service. Don't try just to do what we're doing because everyone else is doing it. If you're good at that, then you'll also be able to add something to the field, and that is creating, right? Okay, text 24, Eden, take it home for us.
Rabbi Yochanan said, "Come, let's examine why God created Adam, the last of all creatures. It teaches you this: God created something every day, a world and its legions. On the sixth and final day of work, he created Adam. God told him, until now I was busy working. From now on, you will be busy with it. This then is what the verse means. And God created Adam in its image, namely to tend to all the world's needs, just as he did in the very beginning."
Beautiful. It's in our hands now. God says, your turn to create. Thank you, Eden. So the bottom line is like this, that if you do choose to go into business, right, and retail and middleman, then how do you choose? By finding the need. So let's just recap the whole class that I have a question for the class. And that is, so key points, we're going to just go through it all, and that's the last part of the class. Everyone has the specific individual purpose only that you can do, and God gives us the tools to do that. So if you're looking at what you enjoy doing, that's probably also something that you can do, and you have the tools to do it. And that also is going to be probably our calling in life. So when you have those three things, you know that you have a very good future in this line of work. The second part of the class tells us that middleman business is great because it creates connections and it provides opportunities to teach other people about Judaism and show how amazing Judaism is, to make a Kiddush Hashem, which is sanctifying, making Hashem's name holy. And finally, the last part of class taught us that we should always be looking to create and innovate, just like God himself created. And that is what we do as a people when we learn Torah and we learn new ways that we can better the world. That is innovating, just doing our part to be as unique as possible to lend our greatness, your greatness, guys, to the world. So Akiva, I'm going to pose this question first to you. What is a need? Looking around your world right now, what is a need that you see right now? Try to look in the line.
Water.
Water. Cool. Okay, water. Great. Hold on to that thought. Nathan, what is a need, a big need you see in the world right now? In your community, in the world, Arizona, wherever it is?
More money.
More money. Okay. More money moving around or just more money?
Both.
More money, more problems.
Rachel, what problems do you see in this world that need and a need?
No shelter.
Shelter. Beautiful. For those homeless. Tal, what about you?
I know this could, I don't know if this could be a little weird or something, but I would say creativity, because I see, at least I know there are plenty of people who are like this, but I see a majority that aren't going out of the box, or like just focusing on the analytical, or like being realistic. I don't know how else to explain it.
Right.
Just to think out of the box and to
Start
allow
up,
yourself to,
entrepreneurial.
yes.
Right. Okay. And Eden?
I couldn't really think about anything, but like shirts that aren't see-through, like a lot of white shirts today are like see-through.
Cool. That's
yeah.
That's wonderfully specific. I like that. That's like
Rebbe, I
you've
want
narrowed
to
down
change
a
mine
specific
from
problem.
water to Amazon.
What?
I want to change mine from water to Amazon, because Amazon is 100,000% more needed than water.
Amazon, like the business?
Yeah, like where you shop online, Amazon. Yeah.
Like that's a need, or it fills a need?
No, it's a need,
And how's it a need?
because without it, we'd all die.
Oh, so saying it fills a need.
Amazon's a need, Rebbe.
No, I'm saying Amazon, like with Amazon, we have what we need. But if we don't have Amazon, then we have a need.
I
Right?
don't know.
It's been a long class. Okay. I think I know what you're saying. Okay, so now let's just tackle one of those problems. I heard water, money. Take any one of the problems that you heard and see if you can propose a solution. Any one of those problems. It could be to
If
your own
everyone
problems.
just cries, we'll have more water.
What?
If everyone just cries more.
Ah, cries. Okay, let's start right now, guys.
I can't force myself to cry. I can't.
How can we solve Eden's white shirts?
Wear black shirts.
Black shirts. Huh.
But what if,
Or make them better quality and not super cheap like everything else is today.
that's what I was about to say, like use a thicker
Everything is
fabric
made
or
so cheaply now.
Okay, cool. And that's so entrepreneurial. Building a model of a shirt that is good quality but still affordable and is not see-through. Beautiful. And you know what you just did there is you really just got to the heart of what people look at when they look at a shirt. They don't care about the fabric, the thread count, or the color. They care about, is it see-through? Is it good quality? How much is it? So when you check all those boxes, boom, you got people buying a shirt and you're filling a need. You're not competing with the rest of the world. You're making your own thing. Beautiful, Adam. We've solved one problem today. Solved Akiva's problem of water. What else are we going to solve today? All right, well, I'll leave it at that. It's getting late. But this is great. This is great. Let's keep looking at the need. Maybe straws on heads is a need. I don't know, but let's keep looking at the need in the world and seeing, maybe I can solve them. Maybe I have the unique set of talents that only I can solve this problem and bring Mashiach and redemption to the world. All right, guys, we're going to finalize, but God willing, next week's class will be in Akiva's uncle's cafe. It's a beautiful outdoor bistro lights, really pretty scenic thing. And hopefully it shouldn't be that cold. It was cold this week, but it's warming up towards the end of this week. So that will be cool, but we'll keep you posted. And Rachel, He was a problem solver with putting straws in his hair. All right, guys, have a wonderful
Thank
rest of your
you.